unimagined places, jokes of surpassing hilarity, and music that made listeners dance, cry, or just plain sigh. Americans didn't listen to a voice that came over a radio in the same way they listened to ordinary voices. And if there was empathy in such a voice, if it seemed to understand the pain, the grief, the wretchedness that is visited upon the innocent in a time of national hardship, then that voice could have inestimable power over them. Doctor understood all of this, and he exploited radio like nobody's business. He had begun his unlikely enterprise in a small, dusty farm town in the middle of Kansas, but by 1930 his radio-medico empire had made him one of the wealthiest men in the Sunflower State, and one of the most controversial. When the state board stripped him of his medical license, Brinkley staged a last-minute race for governor and was nearly elected as a write-in candidate. A few months later, feeling grossly underappreciated in his adopted state, Doctor moved to the Texas border town of Del Rio. A few miles south, in Villa Acuña, Mexico, he set to building a radio transmitter beyond the reach of the United States government and its bothersome regulations that limited stations to a puny 50,000 watts. 200,000 Depression dollars later, XERA, Brinkley's million-watt sunshine station between the nations, thundered across North America. Locals claimed the XERA transmitter had turned on the headlights of cars parked in Del Rio and made children's bed springs hum in San Antonio. All across Texas, they said, you could pick up the signal on a barbed wire fence. In actual fact, there were nights when XERA nearly obliterated Atlanta's WSB and 1,500 miles north elbowed aside Chicago's WGN. As it crossed into Canada, the signal still had enough juice to muddy CKAC in Montreal. There had never been anything like XERA, nor would there ever be again. XERA reached farmers in the Mississippi Delta, steel workers in Detroit, bridge builders in San Francisco, and coal miners in Alberta, Canada. The station got mail from every state in the nation, and 14 other countries to boot. By 1939, South Texas had blossomed with an outlandish industry built on XERA and other border stations that had sprung up around it. XERA's roster included the Reverend Eugene F. Smith, who hawked a book on how to prepare for the Second Coming. A month from now might be too late. And soothsayer Rose Dawn, the Star Girl, patroness of the Order of Maya, who promised to personally pray for any listener who sent her $1. Carter's Champion Chicks, a company that sold live poultry, also leased time from Brinkley. So did the makers of Colorback hair dye, Peruna, a tonic that prevents colds, and Sinos, a preparation guaranteed to clear up the sinuses in the unlikely event that Peruna failed to prevent infection. And just in case Sinos failed too, the Sterling Company offered life insurance for only a penny a day. Of course, even such superior products and services as these were insufficient to attract an audience. For that, entertainment was needed, and no entertainment was found to be more enticing to country people than country music. Consequently, Del Rio had become the hillbilly Hollywood. There was Cowboy Slim Reinhardt, Empty Saddles, Patsy Montana, I Want to Be a Cowboy's Sweetheart, and the Pickards, How Many Biscuits Can You Eat This Morning? There were the J.E. Maynard's Mountaineers, Doc and Carl, and countless others, all long forgotten. And there was also the Carter family. The Carter family is not only not forgotten, but its influence still smolders in the popular music of the 21st century, both in the United States and Europe. The Carters aren't dusty old relics trapped on 78s. 75 years after they first cut their voices into wax cylinders, their music is still finding an audience. Carter family recordings have sold millions of copies and continue to be remastered and remarketed to this day. For the past 10 years, the Rounder label has been re-releasing original Carter family recordings. Just last year, Bear Family Records of Hamburg in Germany put out a boxed set of nearly 300 of the Carter family's original recordings. Carter family songs like Wildwood Flower, Will the Circle Be Unbroken, John Hardy Was a Desperate Little Man, and Worried Man Blue.